Chapter 4. Now, Israel, listen to the statutes and to the ordinances which I teach you to do them, that you may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, gives you. You shall not add to the word which I command you, neither shall you diminish from it, that you may keep the commandment of the Lord your God which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did because of Baal Peor. For all the men who followed Baal Peor, the Lord your God has destroyed them from the midst of you. But you who did cleave to the Lord your God are alive, every one of you, this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and ordinances, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that you should do so in the midst of the land where you go in to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the peoples, who shall hear all these statutes and say, Surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that has a God so near to them as the Lord our God is whenever we call on him? What great nation is there that has statutes and ordinances so righteous as all this law which I set before you this day? Only take heed to yourself, and keep your soul diligently, lest you forget the things which your eyes saw, and lest they depart from your heart all the days of your life, but make them known to your children and your children's children, the day that you stood before the Lord your God in Horeb, when the Lord said to me, Assemble the people, and I will make them hear my words, that they may learn to fear me all the days that they live on the earth, and that they may teach their children. You came near and stood under the mountain, and the mountain burned with fire to the heart of the sky, with darkness, cloud, and thick darkness. The Lord spoke to you out of the midst of the fire. You heard the voice of words, but you saw no form, only you heard a voice. He declared to you his covenant, which he commanded you to perform, even the 10 Commandments, and he wrote them on 2 tables of stone. The Lord commanded me at that time to teach you statutes and ordinances, that you might do them in the land where you go over to possess it. Take therefore good heed to yourselves, for you saw no manner of form on the day that the Lord spoke to you in Horeb out of the midst of the fire, lest you corrupt yourselves, and make yourself an engraved image in the form of any figure, the likeness of male or female, the likeness of any animal that is on the earth, the likeness of any winged bird that flies in the sky, the likeness of anything that creeps on the ground, the likeness of any fish that is in the water under the earth, and lest you lift up your eyes to the sky, and when you see the sun, and the moon, and the stars, even all the host of the sky, you are drawn away and worship them, and serve them, which the Lord your God has allotted to all the peoples under the whole sky. But the Lord has taken you, and brought you forth out of the iron furnace, out of Egypt, to be to him a people of inheritance, as at this day. Furthermore, the Lord was angry with me for your sakes, and swore that I should not go over the Jordan, and that I should not go into that good land which the Lord your God gives you for an inheritance. But I must die in this land. I must not go over the Jordan, but you shall go over, and possess that good land. Take heed to yourselves, lest you forget the covenant of the Lord your God, which he made with you, and make you an engraved image in the form of anything which the Lord your God has forbidden you. For the Lord your God is a devouring fire, a jealous God. When you shall father children, and children's children, and you shall have been long in the land, and shall corrupt yourselves, and make an engraved image in the form of anything, and shall do that which is evil in the sight of the Lord your God, to provoke him to anger. I call heaven and earth to witness against you this day, that you shall soon utterly perish from off the land whereunto you go over the Jordan to possess it. You shall not prolong your days on it, but shall be utterly destroyed. The Lord will scatter you among the peoples, and you shall be left few in number among the nations, where the Lord shall lead you away. There you shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell. But from there you shall seek the Lord your God, and you shall find him, when you search after him with all your heart, and with all your soul. When you are in oppression, and all these things are come on you, in the latter days you shall return to the Lord your God, and listen to his voice. For the Lord your God is a merciful God. He will not fail you, neither destroy you. nor forget the covenant of your fathers which he swore to them. For ask now of the days that are past, which were before you, since the day that God created man on the earth, and from the one end of the sky to the other, whether there has been any such thing as this great thing is, or has been heard like it. Did ever a people hear the voice of God speaking out of the midst of the fire, as you have heard, and live? Or has God tried to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation, by trials, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by an outstretched arm, and by great terrors, according to all that the Lord your God did for you in Egypt before your eyes? To you it was shown, that you might know that the Lord, he is God. There is none else besides him. Out of heaven he made you to hear his voice, that he might instruct you. And on earth he made you to see his great fire, and you heard his words out of the midst of the fire. Because he loved your fathers, therefore he chose their seed after them, and brought you out with his presence, and with his great power out of Egypt, to drive out nations from before you greater and mightier than you, to bring you in, to give you their land for an inheritance, as at this day. Know therefore this day, and lay it to your heart, that the Lord, he is God in heaven above, and on the earth beneath. There is none else. You shall keep his statutes and his commandments, which I command you this day, that it may go well with you, and with your children after you, and that you may prolong your days in the land which the Lord your God gives you forever. Then Moses set apart 3 cities beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, that the manslayer might flee there, who kills his neighbor unawares, and didn't hate him in time past, and that fleeing to one of these cities he might live, namely, Bezer in the wilderness, in the plain country for the Reubenites, and Ramoth in Gilead for the Gadites, and Golan in Bashan for the Manassites. This is the law which Moses set before the children of Israel. These are the testimonies, and the statutes, and the ordinances, which Moses spoke to the children of Israel when they came forth out of Egypt, beyond the Jordan, in the valley over against Beth-peor, and the land of Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon, whom Moses and the children of Israel struck when they came forth out of Egypt. They took his land in possession, and the land of Og king of Bashan, the 2 kings of the Amorites, who were beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise, from Aroer, which is on the edge of the valley of the Arnon, even to Mount Zion, the same as Hermon, and all the Arabah beyond the Jordan eastward, even to the sea of the Arabah, under the slopes of Pisgah.
Psalm 86, a prayer by David. Hear, Yahweh, and answer me, for I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am godly. You, my God, save your servant who trusts in you. Be merciful to me, Lord, for I call to you all day long. Bring joy to the soul of your servant, for to you, Lord, do I lift up my soul. For you, Lord, are good and ready to forgive, abundant in loving kindness to all those who call on you. Hear, Yahweh, my prayer. Listen to the voice of my petitions. In the day of my trouble I will call on you, for you will answer me. There is no one like you among the gods, Lord, nor any deeds like your deeds. All nations you have made will come and worship before you. Lord, they shall glorify your name. For you are great and do wondrous things. You are God alone. Teach me your way, Yahweh. I will walk in your truth. Make my heart undivided to fear your name. I will praise you, Lord my God, with my whole heart. I will glorify your name forevermore. For your loving kindness is great toward me. You have delivered my soul from the lowest Sheol. God, the proud have risen up against me. A company of violent men have sought after my soul, and they don't hold regard for you before them. But you, Lord, are a merciful and gracious God, slow to anger, and abundant in loving kindness and truth. Turn to me and have mercy on me. Give your strength to your servant. Save the son of your handmaid. Show me a sign of your goodness, that those who hate me may see it and be put to shame, because you, Yahweh, have helped me and comforted me. Psalm 87, a psalm by the sons of Korah, a song. His foundation is in the holy mountains. Yahweh loves the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken about you, city of God. I will record Rahab and Babylon among those who acknowledge me. Behold, Philistia, Tyre, and also Ethiopia, this one was born there. Yes, of Zion it will be said, this one and that one was born in her. The Most High himself will establish her. Yahweh will count when he writes up the peoples. This one was born there. Those who sing as well as those who dance say, all my springs are in you.
Chapter 32. Behold, a king shall reign in righteousness, and princes shall rule in justice. A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest, as streams of water in a dry place, as the shade of a great rock in a weary land. The eyes of those who see shall not be dim, and the ears of those who hear shall listen. The heart of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly. The fool shall be no more called noble, nor the scoundrel be highly respected. For the fool will speak folly, and his heart will work iniquity, to practice profanity, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and to cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. The instruments of the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the humble with lying words, even when the needy speaks right. But the noble devises noble things, and in noble things shall he continue. Rise up, you women who are at ease, and hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear to my speech. For days beyond a year you shall be troubled, you careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the harvest shall not come. Tremble, you women who are at ease. Be troubled, you careless ones. Strip yourselves and make yourselves naked, and gird sackcloth on your loins. They shall strike on the breast for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. On the land of my people shall come up thorns and briars, yes, on all the houses of joy in the joyous city. For the palace shall be forsaken, the populous city shall be deserted. The hill and the watchtower shall be for dens forever, a joy of wild donkeys, a pasture of flocks, until the Spirit be poured out on us from on high, and the wilderness become a fruitful field, and the fruitful field be esteemed as a forest. Then justice shall dwell in the wilderness, and righteousness shall abide in the fruitful field. The work of righteousness shall be peace, and the effect of righteousness quietness and confidence forever. My people shall abide in a peaceable habitation, and in safe dwellings, and in quiet resting places. But it shall hail in the downfall of the forest, and the city shall be utterly laid low. Blessed are you who sow beside all waters, who send forth the feet of the ox and the donkey.
To the angel of the assembly in Ephesus write, He who holds the 7 stars in his right hand, he who walks in the midst of the 7 golden lampstands, says these things: I know your works, and your toil and perseverance, and that you can't tolerate evil men, and have tested those who call themselves apostles, and they are not, and found them false. You have perseverance and have endured for my name's sake, and have not grown weary. But I have this against you, that you left your first love. Remember therefore from where you have fallen, and repent, and do the first works, or else I am coming to you swiftly, and will move your lampstand out of its place unless you repent. But this you have, that you hate the works of the Nicolaitans, which I also hate. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the paradise of my God. To the angel of the assembly in Smyrna write, the first and the last, who was dead and has come to life, says these things. I know your works, oppression, and your poverty, but you are rich, and the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews, and they are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. Don't be afraid of the things which you are about to suffer. Behold, the devil is about to throw some of you into prison, that you may be tested, and you will have oppression for 10 days. Be faithful to death, and I will give you the crown of life. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. He who overcomes won't be harmed by the second death. To the angel of the assembly in Pergamum write, he who has the sharp two-edged sword says these things. I know your works and where you dwell, where Satan's throne is. You hold firmly to my name, and didn't deny my faith in the days of Antipas my witness, my faithful one, who was killed among you where Satan dwells. But I have a few things against you, because you have there some who hold the teaching of Balaam, who taught Balak to throw a stumbling block before the children of Israel, to eat things sacrificed to idols, and to commit sexual immorality. So you also have some who hold to the teaching of the Nicolaitans in the same way. Repent, therefore, or else I am coming to you quickly, and I will make war against them with the sword of my mouth. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies. To him who overcomes, to him I will give of the hidden manna, and I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written, which no one knows but he who receives it. To the angel of the assembly in Thyatira write, the Son of God, who has his eyes like a flame of fire, and his feet are like burnished brass, says these things. I know your works, your love, faith, service, patient endurance, and that your last works are more than the first. But I have this against you, that you tolerate your woman, Jezebel, who calls herself a prophetess. She teaches and seduces my servants to commit sexual immorality and to eat things sacrificed to idols. I gave her time to repent, but she refuses to repent of her sexual immorality. Behold, I will throw her into a bed, and those who commit adultery with her into great oppression, unless they repent of her works. I will kill her children with death, and all the assemblies will know that I am he who searches the minds and hearts. I will give to each one of you according to your deeds. But to you I say, to the rest who are in Thyatira, as many as don't have this teaching, who don't know what some call the deep things of Satan, to you I say, I am not putting any other burden on you. Nevertheless, that which you have, hold firmly until I come. He who overcomes, and he who keeps my works to the end, to him I will give authority over the nations. He will rule them with a rod of iron, shattering them like clay pots, as I also have received of my Father, and I will give him the morning star. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the assemblies.